for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ms. Dorsey, thank you for being here. We've heard a lot today about content filters, shadow banning, and a little bit about bias, and I'd like to focus on bias for just a second. A member of my staff recently created a test Twitter account working on a communications project unrelated to this topic, and even before we knew that this hearing was going to take place. They were interested to note who was listed on the suggestions for you to follow list. This is the pro-life conservative congressional staffer on a work computer whose search history definitely doesn't lean left. All they entered was an email address and a 202 area code phone number. Yet here's who Twitter suggested that they follow, and you'll see it on the screen. Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, John Dingell, Chuck Schumer, John Kerry, Ben Rhodes, David Axelrod, Kirsten Gillibrand, Jim Acosta, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Paul Krugman, Madeleine Albright, Claire McCaskill, Chuck Todd, and John Lovett. All left-wing political types. That's all she got as suggested for you to follow. Forget the fact that there aren't any Republicans or conservatives on that list. No singers, no actors, no athletes, no celebrities. She's a 20-something female staffer. Didn't even get Taylor Swift, Chris Pratt, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Kim Kardashian. All she got was the suggestions that I had on the screen. Look, it's one thing not to promote conservatives, even though Donald Trump is truly the most successful Twitter user in history of the site. Say what you want about what he tweets, but President Trump has utilized Twitter in unprecedented ways to get around the traditional news media. I would think that someone in your position would be celebrating that and him rather than trying to undermine him. So how do you explain how a female 20-something-year-old who just put in an email address and a 202 area code, why does she only get the liberal suggestions?
We simply don't have enough information in that case to build up a more informed suggestion for him. So for her, so the 202 number is all we have. So therefore,
so I get that you don't have much information on her. 100% of the suggested followers were biased. Where was Kim Kardashian? Huge Twitter. Where was Taylor Swift? Where was Ariana Grande? In fact, I can look at Twitter most followers, and they're not these people that you suggested for her. And there was nothing in her on her search history and on a government work computer to suggest that she was left-leaning, right-leaning, or anything. Katy Perry, #1. She wasn't on this list. How do you explain that?
I think it was just looking at the 202 as a DC number and then taking DC-based accounts, and the most followed probably or most engaged with DC accounts. As
in the 202 area code area?
The 202 area.
Okay. Where's Bryce Harper? Where's Ovechkin? Where are the Capitals? Where are the Nats? Where's DC United? Where are the sports teams? If you're going to use 202 area code and say that's one of the filters, where are those folks? You know, outside of the political arena. There are no athletes, there are no singers, there are no celebrities. There were only suggested political figures of a very liberal persuasion that were suggested for her to follow. Nobody else. That shows bias, sir.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have a lot more work to do in terms of our onboarding, and obviously you're pointing out some weaknesses in our signals that we use to craft those recommendations. So as she continues, if she were to start following particular accounts or engaging with particular tweets, that model would completely change based on those. We just don't have enough information. It sounds like we are not being exhaustive enough with the one piece of information we do have, which is her area code.
Mr. Dorsey, let me ask you this.
Sure.
After this hearing, and me clearly showing this bias and a lot of other questions, if someone in a 202 area code that's 28 years old sets up a Twitter account with very limited information but has an email address and a 202 area code, are you going to tell me today that they're going to get other suggested followers than the liberals that I mentioned?
That is not a good outcome for us.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair recognizes the
Chairman,
lady from California, Ms. Walters.